All right, so you've been prescribed Mounjaro. This guide is built just for you. We're going to walk through all the official safety info step by step so you can feel totally confident and in control. Let's dive right in. Okay, so you've got your Mounjaro prescription in hand. Now what, right? Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to cover all the essentials. We're talking how to take it, what you should expect, and a really critical warning you need to know about. First up, Section 1, Getting Started with Mounjaro. Let's cover the absolute basics, how to use it and how to store it. You know, getting these habits down right from the start is going to make the whole process so much smoother. So, here's the headline. Mounjaro is a once-a-week injection. Yep, just once a week. You'll give it to yourself right under the skin. The biggest thing here is consistency. So pick a day that works for you, maybe Sunday, and make that your Mounjaro day, every single week. Okay, but where do you actually do the injection? You've got 3 main spots to choose from. First, your abdomen. Just make sure you're about 2 inches away from your belly button. Second, the front of your thigh. And third, the back of your upper arm. Now this next part is super important. You've got to rotate these sites. Don't hit the same spot every week. This is key to preventing any skin issues and making sure the medicine absorbs the way it's supposed to.
All right, let's talk storage, because this is a big one. Ideally, you want to keep your pens in the fridge. That's the gold standard. But, you know, life happens. What if you're traveling or you just forget to put it back? Well, the good news is it's okay at room temperature, but only for a little while. There's a pretty strict time limit.
And that limit? It's 21 days. So a pen can be out of the fridge at room temperature for a maximum of 3 weeks. After that, you have to toss it, even if there's still medicine inside. So here's a pro tip. If you take a pen out, maybe just grab a marker and write the date right on the box. It'll save you a headache later.
Okay, on to Section 2, Mastering your weekly dose. So you know how to take it and store it. But what about staying on schedule? We're all human, right? Sometimes you might forget a dose. So what do you do then? What's the rule to get back on track without messing anything up? This timeline here makes the whole missed dose thing super simple. Let's imagine your injection day is Sunday. You've basically got a 4-day grace period. So, if you forget on Sunday, you have all of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to take it as soon as you remember. But what if you don't remember until Friday? Well, at that point, you've missed your window. You just skip that dose entirely and wait for your next scheduled dose on Sunday. And the #1 rule here is never ever take 2 doses to make up for a missed one. Don't double up. So yeah, the magic number to burn into your brain is 4. 4 days. That's your 96-hour window to take a missed dose. Once that window closes, you just wait for your next scheduled day. It's a really simple rule that keeps things safe and keeps you on a consistent routine.
Moving on to Section 3, Navigating Side Effects. Okay, let's get real and talk about what you might experience. Like pretty much any medication that works, Mounjaro can have side effects. The most important thing for you is to know the difference between the common, manageable stuff and the really serious warning signs that mean you need to call your doctor right away. So, the most common side effects you might run into are mostly about your stomach. We're talking things like nausea, maybe some diarrhea, or even constipation. You'll notice these especially when you first start out or whenever your doctor bumps up your dose. The good news? For most people, these things tend to get better as your body gets used to the medication.
Now let's talk about the serious stuff. These are rare, but you absolutely cannot ignore them. First thing to watch for, severe pain in your stomach that feels like it's spreading to your back. That could be a sign of pancreatitis. Second, pay attention to your neck. Any new lump, trouble swallowing, or a hoarse voice that just doesn't go away, those could be warning signs for thyroid issues. If you experience any of these, you need to stop what you're doing and call your doctor immediately. And that brings us to our final section, Section 4, the critical birth control warning. And I mean critical. This is about a very important drug interaction. So if you take birth control pills, you're going to want to listen very closely to this next part. So you might be wondering, why? Why does this happen? Well, one of the main things Mounjaro does is slow down something called gastric emptying. It's basically just a fancy term for how fast food and medicine move out of your stomach. When that process slows down, it can mess with how your body absorbs other things you take by mouth, and that includes birth control pills. Okay, let me be as direct as possible here. The warning is this: Mounjaro can make your birth control pills less effective. I mean, significantly less effective. So what that means is, if you are relying on the pill to prevent pregnancy, your risk of getting pregnant is higher while you're on this medication. Now, this isn't a problem for the entire time you're on the drug. It's really most significant during 2 specific windows: You have to be extra careful for the first 4 weeks after you start taking Mounjaro for the very first time, and then you have to be careful again for another 4 weeks after every single time your doctor increases your dose. So what's the game plan? What do you actually need to do? During those 4-week periods we just talked about, the official advice is to do one of two things. You can either switch to a non-oral birth control method, we're talking something like an IUD, the patch, or an implant. Or you can just add a barrier method, like condoms, on top of your regular pill routine. That is the absolute safest way to make sure you're protected.
Wow, okay. We just went through a lot, didn't we? From where to inject to some really big warnings. But the single most important thing you can do now is take all this info and have a really good conversation with your doctor. Talk it all through. Are you on the pill? What's your plan if you get side effects? Seriously, being prepared and having that open conversation is the absolute key to using Mounjaro safely and effectively.